Sangno Mitra Samvaruna Samno Bhavataryama Sangno Indra Bruhaspati Sangno Vishnu Rurukrama Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmam Avatu Tadbhaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There is a story in Chandogya Upanishad. The same story is also repeated in Brihadaranyaka. The story is like this. There was a fight between Devas and asuras. And each time asuras won and Devas are defeated. What happens in all the Puranic stories? So Devas decided how we can win over the asuras. They started worshipping one. Now Devas started worshipping eyes. Then asuras penetrated the eyes. So we see good through our eyes and bad through our eyes. Devas are defeated. Like that, they started worshipping ear. Then asuras also infected it. So we listen good, also listen bad. Devas are defeated. Like that, for the nose, smell, both good and bad. Speech, we talk good and bad. So when they are defeated, taking the help of 5 sense organs and 5 organs of action like hand, legs, they started worshipping mind. Also, asuras, they have been infected it. Now in the mind we think good and think bad. Actually mind is controlling all these 10. But that mind is also having good and bad. We have love and hate. We have cruelty and compassion. All this there in the mind. Now Devas are in a real dilemma. How we can win? They went to Prajapati, Brahma. He said that if you can worship the Prana, then can only you will. Now they started worshipping Prana. Prana, there is no good or no bad. Prana is just Prana. The distinction of good and bad is not there. Once they started worshipping Prana, asuras are finished. The description is that as a ball of mud thrown into the big rock, as it dashes, asuras are finished. The purpose of this story is that within our system there are both God and demons, both Devas and asuras. What are Devas and what are asuras within us? If you read the Devasura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly illustrated. What are the divine qualities and what are the demonic qualities. So all the Devas are within us and all the asuras are within us. And what happens in a fight? We fall to the allurement, greed. That is why asuras always win. Because either we are with our the consciousness of our senses or with the consciousness of our mind. We don't go beyond that. So there is both. Sometimes we see good, sometimes we see bad. Sometimes we do good, sometimes we do bad. Why we do bad? Because the temptation we cannot overcome. And that is in our mind. But in pranam that problem is not there. This is because of this story was said to highlight the importance of pranopasana, worshipping the prana. Entire Kriyayoga is a pranopasana. The basis of Kriyayoga is a pranopasana. What is prana? If you want to have a proper understanding of prana, one should read both these Upanishads, very big one, voluminous one, Chandogya and Brihadaranyaka. Entirely vividly described. Concept of prana also, we don't have clear concept. Sometimes you understand prana as a pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha is not a prana. In pranamaya kosha, prana acts. Sometimes we confine the idea of prana into prana, apana, samana, vyana and udana. Yeah. But when we call about prana, mukhya prana, as that is been told in the Upanishad as Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means Ishwar. What is that? Sum total of all the power of knowledge and sum total of all the power of actions together. That is Ishwara. Means in this cosmos and beyond the cosmos, every power, shakti, we can broadly classify. Of course, it is three types, not one, not two, three types. Ichha, Kriya and Jnana. Power of Ichha, wishing, sankalpa, vow something, to make a reason. Then the power of knowledge, then the power of action, based on three qualities of the mother nature, sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattva quality gives the power of knowledge, rajas quality is the power of action, and tamas quality is the power of wishing. Why I want something? That is due to ignorance. When, if I am fulfilled, if I am Purnam, as said in the Upanishad, Purnam Adaha, Purna Medam. This is Purna, this is absolute, that is also absolute. When this absolute knows that absolute, then this absolute becomes that absolute. That is the entire synthesis of all the Upanishads. Purnam Adaha, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Visishyate. That is Purna, this is also Purna, both are absolute, and from that absolute proceeds this absolute. And once we know the absoluteness of this absolute, this becomes that absolute. That is how a human can become Ishwar. That is the power of knowledge. Without the power of knowledge, we are wishing something. That is ignorance. So, but these three powers are required for creation, creating the universe and running this universe. Without that, this is not possible. And all the total powers, all the three powers, sum total is the Hiranyagarbha. That is called a Mukhya Prana. When in Prasana Upanishad it is said, Sa Prana Masrujata. First he created Prana. Pranat Shraddha, then Kham, then Vayu, Akasa and Vayu. So in this way, there are 16 divisions as described in Prasana Upanishad, how creation has been created. In different Upanishads there are different orders, just I am telling. But all these orders are not contradictory. But from the outer reading, it seems that there is something not same. But if you go into inner, then it is all the same thing. Like we study in a mathematics class, one teacher teaches step by step, and some other teachers can just omit 2 steps and go to the third step. It is like that. But those who are not very bright students, they will not be able to follow. So that is the concept of prana. Then from that, we are going on taking to the pranas, the airs, and finally even an indriya is also called a prana. That means prana is Apara Brahman. ParamBrahman, there is no activity. It is only Sat Chit Ananda. The principle of pure existence, that is Sat. And that Sat has been described as Chit, that is consciousness. Means pure consciousness. Because when we study psychology, their mind and intellect are also consciousness. But in Vedic sciences, mind and intellect are inert objects. They are not consciousness. Consciousness is the supreme. That is the Brahman. Mind and intellect are the instruments within us which can reflect the consciousness. That is why they are so powerful. So then further, Brahman has been described as Ananda, bliss principle. That consciousness is bliss. Bliss is not happiness. It is beyond happiness and suffering. Happiness is there means suffering is there. The day is there and the night is there. So happiness will always go with sufferings. When we say bliss, we should not understand that this is some sort of happiness. No, it is not a happiness. It is beyond happiness and sufferings. There is no sufferings, no happiness. And that principle is Ananta. Satya Jnana Ananta Brahman. That is infinite. That is continuous. There is no partition. So from that, when it starts activating, there is, as the scripture says, this pure consciousness has no activity. So ParamBrahman has no activity. When activity starts, how activity starts? Due to its own power, shakti. Why? No answer. It is called, it is Swabhava. It's its own nature. Once in the Brahman, this power, different wordings has been used in different philosophies, like Vedanta using Brahma and Maya, Tantra using Shiva and Shakti, Sankhya and Yoga using Purusha and Prakriti. So once that was, Prakriti was there in active form, means there is samya, the equanimity of these three qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas, Ichha, Kriya and Jnana. So when there is activation, activation is the quality of rajas one, Kriya Shakti. So once that has been activated, in one direction it gives rise to the sattva and other direction it gives rise to the tamas. Now three powers emerge. Now these three powers interact with each other to form the creation. We call them Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati in a Tantra. In otherwise we call it Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Or we call it Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the interaction between them is the creation. So what happens here? What is our problem? If you don't understand the basic problem, we cannot solve it. Basic problem is, basically everything is consciousness. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Whatever we see is Brahman. Whatever we don't see is also Brahman. Means what we can perceive and what we do not perceive, all is Brahman. But our perception is different. Instead of seeing Brahman, I see this as a speck, this as a book, this as a lamp, this as a fruit. But why? Because I first myself see myself separate. I don't feel myself as the Brahman, consciousness principle. Because of this tamas quality, which is natural. From, if we read the Sankhya philosophy, what comes? First is the mother nature. From mother nature comes the Mahat Tattva, the buddhi principle. Then from buddhi principle comes the aham tattva. The principle of ego. Ego is not a proper word, but in English there is no other word. Ego, we can use the word I sense, feeling of I, me and mine. Aham. In Sanskrit it is called aham. Ego in Sanskrit is called ahamkara. There is a difference between aham and ahamkara. When aham is much more directed with the rajas and tamas quality, then he wants to rule everything, does not want, then it becomes ahamkara. So now, this mahat, when it is been created, means buddhi principle, then the next creation is the ego. It is natural. Aham. Now aham is created, that is the problem. That means instead of understanding myself as a consciousness principle, the word used in Yoga Sutras of Patanjali is chitti shakti. I am power of consciousness. Instead of understanding me as the power of consciousness, I understand as a knowledge. Buddhi, not knowledge, intellect. That is the problem. Now that spreads from intellect to mind. Now I understand mind as me. Then that spreads to the physical body. Now I understand this body as me. That is the problem, what happens here. That is why I have isolated myself from the totality. Now this isolation creates the problem. My very nature is expansion. But I am now constrained, contracted. Totality can never be contracted. But in this body-mind complex instrument, it feels contracted. This contraction creates deficiency. But since nature is expansion, it tries to expand. It tries to know itself. How? In a wrong manner. Because of this ignorance. Ignorance has been given rise to the I sense, asmita. Now this asmita gives rise to attachment and aversion. I like this, I don't like this. I love this, I hate this. This is our problem, nothing else. Raga and dvesha. Then continuous raga and dvesha has created abhinivesha. Inherent involvement. Means something we are getting by birth. It is inherent. And what is that? That is fear of death. These three are our problems. Problems are thousands, but in these three categories. I want this, I don't want this. I feel how I will expand. I don't have a house. I have a house, I will expand. Then I say I have a small house. That person is having a big house. I should have a big house. I was happy with a bicycle. Then I see someone is having a bike. Now I want a bike. That is my cause of suffering. I have a bike. No, I didn't. I want a car. Oh, no, not this car. I want that brand. So when we go on this direction, then say no. All these material things are not giving me satisfaction. I am still unfulfilled. What I want? I want power over others. People should follow me. People should respect me. They should say, oh, Swamiji is very knowledgeable. That type of inherent desires are coming. Basic purpose is ignorance. Ignorance is given rise to I sense. Now I sense is creating all these. So how will go back? That is our. Had it been happiness, no problem. You can stay. Some people are very happy because they go to the office, have good money, and now even in the evening going to the parties. Then they can watch TV up to 2 o'clock. Then can get up at 9 o'clock and suddenly run to the office. They are happy with that. But are they remaining happy in that state forever? After a time, they have to question. Accordingly, our mind has been divided into 5 categories. What we are actually. The first category is Mudha, dull mind. They can't think anything beyond that of an animal. What is for the animal life? Animal has also a mind. But what is there? Entire ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Food, sleep, fear, and sex. That is all. The 4. These 4 can have many things. One can have many things. Like when I say bhaya, it also includes anger. It also includes greed. So many things. So, human being with that type of mind is called a mudha. He may be CEO of one multinational company, that does not matter. But so far, knowing the self, he is a mudha. Then, because in such type of mind, tamas quality is very high. In each mind, all the 3 qualities are there, but tamas quality is very high. Then we come to the second category, chitta, always restless, always restless. They can't even sit for 5 minutes silently. High rajas quality. These people are more prone to sex and violence because of the high rajas quality and low in sattva and tamas. First category is high tamas, this category is highly rajas. Then third category of mind, vikshipta. Sometimes they are focused, sometimes they are restless. Now, general human beings are like this, vikshipta. They become calm, but then they become restless. These are the people who can become a student of yoga. Because in yoga, all you have to work is with your mind. When working, means focusing on one object, gradually that chitta becomes ekagra, concentrated. That is the result of a practice of yoga. Here, in vikshipta, both sattva and rajas are actingly more. But when you come to ekagra, it is the sattva quality that is takes the highest preference. Then, final stage of practice of yoga is niruddha. That happens in samadhi. Niruddha means everything is stopped. You go to a transcendental state where the activities has already been, means there is no activities. No activity is not like a dead wood or a metal. There is also no consciousness activity. You transcended that. Then all the qualities, they fail to work there. They go. Only one in the consciousness. There is samya of all the 3 qualities. That is the purpose. When one reaches that state, he is in peace. He is at bliss state. So we have to reach to that state. So how we will reach that state? That state has been described as yoga in Rishi Patanjali. Yoga, chitta vritti, nirodha. Yoga is nirodha of chitta vritti. The chitta vritti should be halted. Rodha is halted. Here the word is not rodha, word is nirodha. Means it should be halted in a special manner by doing certain practices. Otherwise, it can be halted in tamas quality also. Like it happens in deep sleep. Otherwise, any anesthesia doctor can halt your chitta vritti. But after that, do you have the knowledge? No, because that happens in tamas quality. We have to halt the same, but in sattva quality. Not in deep sleep, but remaining fully aware. That is why the word nirodha is used, not the rodha. We have to halt. What we have to halt? We have to halt all the vrittis of our chitta. Vritti means activity, action. Normally saying vritti is your profession. Vritti of a doctor is to treat patients. Vritti of a teacher is to teach. Means by which a person sustains. So by those activities our chitta sustains. That is the chitta vritti. So chitta sustains by its activities. If there is no activity, then we say, oh, my mind was not there. Then chitta is not actually mind. In English there is no such word, but you can use the word like mind stop, not the mind. It has 4 distinct components. That is also called antakarana, inner instruments. Like our eyes, ears, hands, legs are outer instruments, that is also called inner instrument. What are those? Mind, intellect, I sense, or we can call ego, because we don't have any other word, and subconscious. These 4 are the main components. Mind is the surface part, where there are actions are going on, and we are always know. We know that this is my mind. This thought came to my mind. My mind is not happy. I went into depression. Means my mind went into depression. So whatever happening is mind, we are knowing. But we are not very much aware about the latter 3. So what is the mind? As per the Vivek Chudamani of Bhagavad Shankaracharya, the definition of mind is monostu sankalpa vikalpana didhi. Mind is verily that which creates results and alternatives. You are here because you made a result that I have to learn Kriyayoga. So that result has brought you here. Whatever you are doing here is due to a result that you made. Whatever your personality today is due to result that you made. Every time you are making, every day you are making social, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this, I want to do this. First it happens in the mind only. Then only comes to the actions or speech. So that is what the mind is. So when you make a result, sankalpa, simultaneously there is a vikalpa. Why should I go there? It is all the wastage of time. Now this is weekend. I have to meet all my friends. That may help me in time of need. How it is going to help me? Alternatives will come. Vikalpa will come. So both sankalpa and vikalpa is called sankalpa. One is positive way, one is negative way. Whichever will be powerful, you will do that. If your sankalpa becomes powerful, you will follow that. If your vikalpa becomes powerful, sometimes vikalpa may be many, not one. Which one will be powerful, you will follow that. That is the basic work of mind. Mind takes the cognizance. I see, mind knows. I hear, mind knows. Mind also, the one where all the thoughts are going on. But so far human beings' evolution is concerned, it is the sankalpa and vikalpa. That is why this aspect has been highlighted by Bhagavad Shankaracharya. And we are aware. A normal average human being is aware about the mind. But below that, mind is a very small fraction of our chitta. Below that is intellect, buddhi. Buddhi is very subtle than the mind. Mind takes the cognizance, but buddhi decides the nature of the object. Now, suppose the temperature here in the room. My skin takes the cognizance, first knows and then takes it to the mind. So virtually skin is the door, mind is the knower. Mind name. But whether it is cold or hot or pleasant, who decides? Intellect decides. This is yellow fruit, this is orange, this is red, this is white. Who decides? Intellect decides. Mind simply takes the cognizance. Now when intellect decides, it puts a tag. This is like this is like this is like this. And based on that tag, mind creates again like, dislike. I like this, I dislike this. I like this, I dislike this. And in that way we work. Then all these activities of mind and intellect are done due to the principle of I sense or ego principle, aham. If aham is not there, then there will be no mind, there will be no intellect. They can't work. I am doing, I want this, I do not want this, I like this, I do not like this, I am the king, I am the beggar. All concept is I concept. If that I is not there, nothing will be there. Then all the activities, they are stored in subconscious, avachetana. Nothing is deleted. If you go on making a file and don't delete, after some time what will happen to your computer? That is what we are making. We make a file, don't delete. We make a file, don't delete. We make a file, don't delete. Files are never deleted. All these remains as imprints and they prop up time to time, time to time. That is called memory, smriti. Now, propping up is not a problem. What is the problem? If that was good to me, I want it again and again. If that was bad to me, I try to resist it. Something happened to me before 30 years, now I remember, become sad. That has been past. Somebody has offended me 25 years before, still I remember that I have a grudge against that person. Somebody praised me, oh, I remember, becomes very happy. In this way, we have monovritti, activities of mind, buddhi vritti, activities of intellect, aham vritti, activities of I sense, and avachetana vritti, that is memory. All the vrittis can work if I is there. If I is not there, so the final thing is to finish the I. If you don't finish the I, you will not go into the reach to the consciousness, the principle that you are. And how that will be finished? That will be only finished with the knowledge. Because that is the product of ignorance. Avidya is the queen here in this world. She is ruling over here. And the crown prince is I sense. And these are all children's. Raga, Dvesha and Abhinavas, they are the frontier workers. And all this is due to our wrong identity. And that wrong identity should be eradicated. So we have to stop all the vrittis of chitta. What will happen? When we stop all the vrittis, tadadrastu surupe avasthanam. Next sutra, Patanjali says. Then we are in our own surupa, in our own form. Hiranyagarbha and samadhi are synonymous words. We are in our own form. Otherwise, vritti sarupya mitatra. Your vritti gives you the identity. I am speaking, I become a speaker. My speaking is a vritti, and now vritti gives me identity, speaker. I am wearing this cloth, it gives me identity, Swamiji is a sannyasi. You are listening, your identity becomes a listener. Now you become sad, your identity becomes a sad person. Now a phone call comes from your son or daughter, you become a father or mother. All depends upon your vritti. Your vritti is giving you identity. Now to reach to the true identity, it is said that you stop all these vrittis. And when we stop all these vrittis, that becomes yoga. Then you are yoga udha. Trying to stop all these vrittis is the practice of yoga. So what we have to do? We have to stop everything. So how I will do that? Next question comes. How I will do that? Because this is the nature of the mind. Nature of the mind is to create vrittis. We are aware of the vrittis of the mind because finally it comes to the surface. So how will you stop that? When it is itself is the nature of the mind and I don't have anything other than that doing. Very simple answer to this was simply focus on one object. If you are focusing yourself in one object, now this book, you are not with this, 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 not with this. If you are able to focus on one thing, concentrate on one thing, that is called a dharana in your practice of concentration. That practice of concentration will mature into dhyana, meditation. Very thin line of demarcation between concentration and meditation. Concentration is not a meditation. Difference is very simple difference, as explained in the scriptures. You just take a pot filled with water, then drop the water slowly. Water slowly, not suddenly. The flow of water will be continuous, but at times discontinuous. But you take in a pot oil. Now, similarly with slow, you release the oil. Oil will always be continuous. That is the difference. Means, in your practice of dharana, you have an object of meditation. You are trying to focus with that object of meditation, but at times other things may invade. You are thinking of Krishna, now sometimes Ganesha is introduced. Then that is dharana, not dhyana. But when that becomes concentrated, the concentration becomes concentrated, more focused, it becomes dhyana. This is the result. We never start with dhyana, we never start with meditation. We start with concentration. Concentration matures into meditation. And in meditation there are three things. Meditator, object of meditation, and the process called meditation. Meditator is called dhyata, one who is meditating. Object of meditation is called dheya, on which we are meditating. And process is called dhyana. Dhyata, dheya, dhyana. I am thinking that now I am with one, but actually I am with three. Because I am meditating, that vritti is there. Process of meditation is also there as a vritti, and object is there as a vritti. It is all in there in my mind, not in outside. Outside if suppose it is there, but I am looking there, then how it is in my mind? All are in my mind. Now when that three will become one, means how three will become one? In my mind, the idea that I am the meditator, that will not there. Process of meditation will cease. Only the object of meditation will be there. That is the first step of samadhi. In the words of Rishi Patanjali, this is called savitarka samadhi. Some people think that we have reached, but it is actually the first step. In this way, we have to go 7 steps. Why? Now I thought that only one thing is there. Actually, then also there are 3 things. Like that, we will find each step there is 3, 3, 3. What are the 3 things? Now is in my mind. This is a name. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is a name. Then what is there? It is a meaning. When I say Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I am not certainly understanding Vyana, nor any other book. So it is a meaning. Then there is a vast knowledge there. Any object with these 3 things will be there, a set of knowledge. In this first samadhi, all these 3 are there. When these 3 will become one, then we enter into second samadhi. Nirvitarka samadhi. What will happen here? Name will not there. Name will go. When I say name, form is also included. Name and form will go. In second stage, there is no name and form. Whatever you may take as a object of meditation, then knowledge will go. You are not dealing the vast knowledge. Only the meaning will be there. Then only we are in the second step. Anything you take. Now, in this way, we will go on the sixth step, we will know the essence, asmita. That this is the root cause of all. Then, on the seventh, when the asmita is finished, we are with the consciousness. Asmita means essence. Asmita cannot be translated as ego. Not. Because asmita, with asmita, you can become good, you can become bad. When with asmita you become bad, then it is called ego. Now when you finish all this, you enter into the seventh state. So for that, what we have to take one object of meditation. What is that object of meditation? Different systems, they take different. Some people meditate on a yantra, Sri yantra, Kali yantra, Durga yantra, Ganesh yantra. Some people meditate on a mandala. Some people meditate on candlelight. Some people meditate on bell sound. Some people meditate on images of Krishna or Shiva or Kali. One who does that, he says that is the best one. And that is ignorance. All are valid methods. All those methods that has been said in our scriptures. When I say scriptures, I do not mean any book. A scripture is which has been given to us by the realized rishis. That the knowledge that they have seen in the state of rishihood and has given to us, that is scripture. Vedas are scriptures, Upanishads are scriptures, Puranas are scriptures, Smriti Shastras are scriptures, Sutras, Yoga Sutra, Brahma Sutra, Sankhya Sutra, these are scriptures. So the methods that has been said in our scriptures are all valid. But we cannot do all. Can we do all? We have to take one. One path we have to take. So what we will take as object of meditation? In Kriyayoga, the object of meditation, as I started in the beginning, Prana. That is why it is called a Pranavidya. We meditate on our own prana. And for that, first we start with our prana vayu. Breath. Breath is not a prana. Breath is a prana vayu. That is just outer manifestation of a prana. We start with a prana vayu. Then we go into subtler aspects of a prana. Why prana is taken? Because this is first among the equals. All these things that we are taking is just practicing concentration with your mind. Here you are practicing concentration with your mind, but with the father of the mind. That is prana. If prana is not there, are you able to think? Are you able to analyze? You can't do anything. And mind naturally absorbs into prana. If that will not happen, people will become mad. Where? In your deep sleep. In your deep sleep, every day, mind naturally absorbs into prana. Those who want to know more about it, just simply read the Chandogya Upanishad. That only describes this, the four stages of life. Jagrata, Swapna, Susupti and Turiya. 4 stages. In Jagrata, the state of awake, our physical body, our sense organs, our organs of action, our mind, all are active. Here we are only working with the breaths on the mind. We go to Swapna, physical body takes rest. Sense organs taking rest. Organs of actions are taking rest. But we see, we hear, we speak, we walk, we work, we fight, we do everything. Who is doing? Mind only. This, how? Through its breathage. So for breathage concerned, Jagrata and Swapna are same. Then we enter into deep sleep every day. For an average healthy person, it may be about 2 hours. Really deep sleep. And at that time what happens? Mind takes rest. There is no activity of mind. Where it takes rest? It takes rest in that principle which is awake. After you get up, do you have a new mind? No, you have the same mind. But that was taking rest. Where it was taking rest? It was taking rest in your prana. Because prana was heavy. In a normal way, we say, if your prana vayu, there is fluctuation, you find your fluctuations in mind. There is fluctuations in mind, you find fluctuations in your prana vayu. You have anger, breath flows fast. You have fear, breath becomes irregular. You have depression, breath becomes very subtle. Then suddenly it becomes goes out forcefully. Then again silent, then again goes out forcefully. So whatever we find, you are highly happy, highly elevated, got very, very good news, something you got a lottery or something. Your breath is also not normal. In a calm state, in a peaceful state, your breath is normal. That means breath change is changing the mind, mind change is changing the breath. Difficult to work with the mind. Not impossible, difficult. But easy to work with the breath. Because indirectly you are training the mind. So that is why when we are concentrating here, instead of taking any outer object, we take the prana, our own breath. We start with our own breath. And gradually we merge our mind with that. That is the basic principle of Kriyayoga. Then second thing, over the years our mind has become completely, life after life, completely wayward. The example is mostly given is like that of a spoiled child of a rich man. A spoiled child of a rich man does not obey his parents. He does all the mischiefs. Now the parents, they cry. Because when they have to train, they have not trained. Like that. When we have to train our mind, we have not trained our mind. We have spoiled it. Now you will not be happy with one thing. It was the master. Mind has become the master. Whereas I should be the master of my own mind. Now will it like to follow me? It is certainly not like. It will revolt if I want to try. So we have to give other options. With one option it is not possible. What we have to do as a other option that is given in Kriyayoga is also within our body. That is from where our mind works. Brain and spinal column. That is the seed from where, that is the hardware, where the mind, software called the mind works. So we also take that into consideration. We also focus mind on our central nervous system. Then what happens? By the practice of ancient rishis, we have found there are certain places where the activities of mind is the activities of prana, shakti is very high. Those are we called the chakras, commons. We also take those into action. What are those? At the base of the spine. All are in the spine. Now in new age books, they tell like front side. That is not correct. Front side is shown to indicate that it is inside the spine. At the base of the spine, inside the tailbone, coccyx, is Mooladhara chakra. These are not physical structures. Chakra is not a physical structure. Has it been a physical structure, we can just take to the electron microscope and see it. It is not a physical structure. It is a subtle structure. You can just feel that. Then, at the level of reproductive organ, inside the spine, that is inside the sacrum vertebra, we have the Swadhisthana chakra. Similarly, at the point of umbilicus, at the level of umbilicus, navel point, that will come at the level of lumbar 2 and lumbar 3 vertebra, Manipura chakra. Similarly, at the level of heart, that means dorsal 4 and dorsal 5 vertebra area. Not in the vertebra, inside the vertebra is the spinal column. This is Anahata chakra. And Kanthakupa, at the level of Kanthakupa. So, in the spine here, Visuddha chakra, at the cervical 6, cervical 7 area. Then, from where this spine starts, we call it medulla oblongata. Just at the base of the midbrain, near pons. In front is the pituitary gland, in back is the pineal gland. This is entire spine is a canal. Inside we call canal is centralis. So after the Agya chakra there is a constriction. Just I am telling this so that you can physically locate it to the area. We call the cerebral aqueduct. In that area, before cerebral aqueduct is Agya chakra. Some people call it as pituitary, some people call it as pineal, but actually all in the spine. Then, entire new brain, cerebral hemisphere, 2 cerebral hemispheres, entire one is Sahasrara, but we start meditating at the point in Yoga Shastras called as a Brahmarandhra. In a newborn child where the bone is, the skull bone is not complete. That is the real heart.
Yes.
That is the real heart. Third ventricle. Our third ventricle is the spiritual heart. Some people misunderstand it as a physical heart. Because Hrudaya Sabda is used. Hrudaya. When it is called Hrudaya, they are not referring to your physical heart. You can meditate anywhere. You can meditate on your thumb. That is not a problem. That is another issue. You can meditate on your physical heart also. But when it is telling Hridaya, Satachakyam Hrudayasya Nadya in Prasad. 101 is the nerves of heart. Then each one is divided into 100. So 101 into 100. Then each one is divided into 72,000. Into 72,000. The number comes to the number of neurons in a human body. That time they knew it. So this is the place is called Brahmapuri in Yoga Shastras. What you have to do? You have to lift your prana and enter there. Once your prana is there, everything is finished. You are only with consciousness. That is the entire system of a practice. You concentrate at your breath, inhalation and exhalation, then further concentrate into subtle breaths like vyana, samana. In higher kriyas you work with udana. Then you concentrate with the brain and spinal column. You concentrate with the chakras. Now you have many options for your mind. You make a game that this is the rule, you play like this. But you can't do whatever you want. As I am directing, this is exercise you make. You follow it. Then gradually, as you mature in your meditation, withdraw one support. Then withdraw another support. Then withdraw another support. Then withdraw another support. Fix at one place. When that has been gone, you rest. So this is the basic philosophy behind the practice. How the Kriyayoga has been designed. That does not mean that other systems are not correct. So this is how the system is. And we start working with our mind gradually so that we have mastery over mind. Maybe something bad happened to our family. Now people are in depression for 1 year. Normally happens with every person. How do you help yourself? Or how do you help others? Neither you help yourself nor you help others. You become a burden on the others. Okay, we are still all human beings. Maybe something bad happened, but I may be on sadness or depression for 10 minutes, then I become normal. That will happen only with this practice. Because we know to detach ourselves from our cravings and aversions. Cravings and aversions, all are creation of the mind. Why this is happening to me? What I did? There is no answer. Happens to everybody. Bad things happens to everybody. Good things happen to everybody. It is not that only happens to me. But the thing is that I am concerned only about my happiness, my problems. And we will always remain in problems if you remain with our mind. So we have to gradually learn to practice detachment here, inside the mind. There are people who left everything and in a cave. Then this is my cave. Still attachment comes. Because that is the nature of the mind. Gradually, by practice, we have to come, learn detachment. We have to go beyond craving and aversions. That is the whole story of a first chapter of Saptashti Chandi. When Brahma is our mind. It was given to create. How it will create? Vedas was given, knowledge was given to you. Now we have given you the Brahma. You are the creator, we have given you the something superior to Brahma has given you the knowledge. But when he starts creating, he found two demons. One is Madhu, another is Koitava. Madhu means honey, sweetness. I like this, I want this, I love this. Koitava means bitterness. I don't want this, I don't like. There are two brothers, they are twin brothers. And both will die at a time. You can't kill one and keep other. You can't kill the bitterness and kill the sweetness. That is not possible. And they are the problem for the creation. They are always trying to eat the Brahman. What is the story? They try to eat the Brahma. Brahma is now, how I will do? What he is to do? Who will fight? Brahma can't fight. Lord of creation cannot fight. Who will fight? Fight will Vishnu. Vishnu means vastness. If you don't have identity with the infinite consciousness, you cannot fight. So you have to establish your identity with the infinite consciousness, and he is always sleeping. Have you seen a Vishnu sitting? No. Either standing or sleeping. Vishnu either sleeps or standing, going to fight with some asura. Otherwise, he is never sitting. Not possible for him. And he is sleeping. That is the reason he invoked the Shakti. Yogamaya, Mahakali. Means the power of tamas. You have to withdraw yourself. If that will not withdraw, then Vishnu will not come. And if Vishnu is not there, no one will fight. not possible to fight. Then Vishnu, when occasions, due to the grace of Yogamaya, he finds these two asuras and fights for thousands and thousands of years, not able to defeat. Because it is not able to defeat. The nature is like that. So what happened? Again, Shakti was invoked. They delusioned this mind. Oh, you are a great warrior, fighting so many years with me, what do you want? Then Vishnu said, get killed by me. Okay, you can kill me, but not on the land, not on the sea, not on the air. Find a place where you can kill, other than this. Then Vishnu said, I will kill on my thighs. Till you have not won thigh hair is representing sexual energy. That is the one which is most troublesome for a spiritual seeker. Until and unless you have won over it, you own that, you own your thigh, you cannot kill. This taken such a, actually it is about all the vrittis we have, all the things. But why kama is called sex? Kama means a desire. But that is the front runner. Among all the desires, that is very powerful and very troublesome. So that is the first one to be killed, to be mastered. Then only you can slay the likes and dislikes. That is all. In this Puran, the stories are there. Stories are for the common people, but there is a allegory behind it. There is an inner meaning behind it. That inner meaning are all related to our practice. So now what we do here is invoking our prana, trying to merge our mind in our prana. Because that can take you there. On the basis of this, the technique has been designed. Ancient technique. Each time it gets lost, then someone comes and then revives you. The present technique is by narrated Mahasaya, as taught by Mahavatar Babaji in the year 1861. Yeah. Then also, as naturally happens over the years, alterations, additions, deletions happen. But if you understand the basic principle, then you can know the technique that you are practicing is correct or not. That is why we need Swadhyaya, knowledge of our scriptures. Without that, proper understanding will not come. If you are very fortunate to have a right guru who can show you the path, then you follow. Otherwise, scripture is the one which will show you the mirror, which will tell you what is right and what is wrong. On that basis, it is completely, Kriyayoga practice is completely scriptural. Techniques are described in scriptures. But people will say, no, this is secret technique, no one knows. Actually, it is not. We don't study, we don't know. If you study, we will know. For that, you have to read Upanishads, you have to read Yoga Shastras, you have to read Agama scriptures. Then only you will know if it is there or not. You have not read anything and declare, no, it is secret. How it is secret? Teachers are keeping it secret because it is not to be taught to a unqualified student, anodhikari. That was the purpose. But in the present age, where there is so much information and misinformation, can you hide something? Can you hide? No, one should read Sanskrit. Only I will read, then I will know and I will tell. It is all written in the books. But what is important is practice. Practice and practice. Simply reading will make you an intellectual person. You can speak hours together, like a university professor. But you are not a spiritual seeker. So practice is important. So that is why you have to know the technique properly. There are some bandhas, some mudras. This is the basic. Some complementary techniques are there, some supplementary techniques are there to aid it, to aid the acceleration process of this evolution. And hard work is necessary. Without continuity, without regularity, without hard work, no one is going to succeed in any path. Kurasya dhara nisita duritaya, as said in Kathopanishad. It is like walking on the razor's edge. But possible, not impossible. But we must have that sorts of determination to do. We have to start walking, then one day we will reach. If we don't start walking, then how I will reach? That is what the Kriyayoga principle helps us in working to know our own self. The conditions imposed by the masters is that you must approach a teacher to learn it. Then there should be a deeksha, initiation ceremony. In this tradition, not started by me, but started by the masters. So, then there you take a vow that I accept the tradition of Gurus as my Gurus. Number one vow. Number two vow, I will practice daily. Without practicing, if I am not going to practice, then why should I take a vow? Yes, there will be interruptions, there will be difficulties in initial days. But if I have determination, happens to everybody. Practices for 3 months, then there is a gap in practice, then again practices, then there is a gap. It takes time. It depends upon how you are determined. Then third vow is, I will not reveal the technique till I master it and given permission by my Guru to teach. Because if you have not mastered it and start teaching, what happens nowadays mostly, teachings will not be proper. There will be wrong teachings. Fourth vow is, I will follow purity in my day-to-day life. I will live by honest means. Like purity means I will live by honest means. I will not live by dishonest means. I will not speak untruth. I will not indulge in violence, in hatred, in jealousy. I will not leave my senses wild. I will practice to have control over my senses. I will not gather unnecessary things. That means I am increasing my greed. I need 2 pairs of clothes. Why should I have 10 pairs? For everybody. People gather the things unnecessarily. only to satisfy their ego, to show that, yes, I am something superior than you. You have a 2-floor house, I have a 10-floor house. Whereas maybe there are 2 persons to live. Why? What is the need? If wealth is concentrated in one place, that means it is deprived from others. You are depriving others. That is Vedic socialism, not the modern day socialism that you kill people and establish a classless society. Vedic socialism by our own practice, our own inner practice. This why we will do all these things, because these will discipline our mind. I have greed. That means I am encouraging that vritti to strengthen in my mind. That is against the principle of vritti nirodha. I have violence. How I can do violence without cruelty in me? I will do harm to others later, but first I will harm myself. That means I am enhancing, I am increasing that vritti within me. So these are very fundamental things. One must take a vow that I will practice. Not that one day one will become perfect. No one becomes perfect in one day. But we must have a noble desire to practice all these things. Then, in the initiation ceremony, what we do? We put 6 lamps, 7 diyas. 7 diyas means they are all symbolic to light our 7 energy centers. That is why we paid 7 diyas. We were asked to bring 5 different flowers and 5 different fruits. Flowers is something blossoming within us. Means that is coming up within our mind, our desires. These are our flowers. We have to offer them. Because if you remain with the desires, we will work for that. Then that will give you result, karma phala. And we will enjoy that in the form of pain and pleasure. So that is the why we symbolically bring 5 fruits. Means the results of our 5 kind of desires, we have 5 different kinds of fruits, that all I am offering. Then finally we have to offer ourselves. So this is how the procedure goes. First thing we need is Shraddha. Shraddha to a system. Shraddha in the teachings of the teacher, Shraddha in the teachings of the scriptures, with a intellect that is capable of holding the truth. Otherwise, someone will come and tell you, kill this he-goat in front of this Devi temple, you will get this and that boon. You will do that. People are doing that. Because that is not a knowledge based on Shraddha. That is a knowledge based on blind faith. Shraddha is never a blind faith. It is a noble faith. That is why it is called a Satya Buddha Dharana. You have to hold with Satya Buddhi. We generally become lambs, don't follow any Satya Buddhi. Something is told, either we don't obey or follow blindly, like a head. That is not what our scriptures say. Next thing what we need, Saddhavan Lavate Jnanam Tatparam Sanjatendriya. Then Tatparata. We have to be engaged in our practice. We have to engage in continuity of our practice, uninterrupted practice. Third thing is Sanjatendriya. Control over the Indriyas. When I say Indriya, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 sense organs, Pancha Karmendriya, 5 organs of action, and the 11th indriya, that is mind. These are the preconditions. We have to work on these. And these practices will help. Otherwise, just I practice something, make my mind powerful, I can harm others also. You see all the asuras, they are, how much penance they did. How much penance the asuras did. Yes. But ultimately what they did? Satisfaction of ego. They want to rule over others. Finally they failed. So this is the conditions we want to have. We have to follow these rules with Shraddha. If Shraddha is there, other things will follow. Because we will try to do that. We will correct ourselves. Doing a mistake is not a problem. Everyone does mistake. Even in spiritual practice, everyone does mistakes. Everyone falls down again and again. That is not a problem. What is problem is how we do it. If we don't have these basics correct, then we will do the wrong things. We will fail, again we will try. We will fail, again we will try. A child starts walking, how many times falls down? That is natural process. That natural process also applies to spiritual practice. But if we have Shraddha, all other things will come. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschi dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.